So here we are then, the Diocese of Exeter. There it is, right under that arrow.
From Plymouth on the south coast, all the way up to Ilfracombe on the north, 1.2 million people live and work here.
And because Devon is a very big county, it can make it hard for all of us who worship and serve in the diocese to feel part of the same family. But we are. So what are we doing to support our family?
Well, there are our churches. Look, here's one. We've got a church in every community, 614 in fact, and that's a lot.
But it's not about our buildings, although some are very lovely. Thousands and thousands of people of all ages come to our churches.
In fact, 27,000 people regularly worship in the diocese.
And what do all these people, all of us, have in common? Well, we love God, we care for one another, and we want to make our communities much, much better.
We've talked about this as making sure every community in Devon has a praying, worshipping and witnessing Christian presence, making disciples of Jesus Christ and bringing that community's life into the kingdom of God. Put simply, this is being the church.
So, what do we do to support all these churches and people?
Well, we provide ministers to lead our churches. We've got 275 clergy and 190 readers who we support in a variety of ways.
Our clergy come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, literally. Some are vicars, some are curates, some are chaplains in schools, universities, hospitals, prisons and businesses. And some do specialist roles as part of the diocese. Some are paid, but the majority do what they do voluntarily.
Most of our clergy and all of our readers work as part of local churches. As well as leading the churches, they're there for people throughout the community at key points in their lives, baptising people, marrying them, and comforting families through bereavement.
And our ministers need to be quite special and be well trained and supported and housed too. It's a very difficult but rewarding job.
And it's not just these ministers we've got at the moment. We've currently got record numbers of people coming forward for ordination, ready to come to a church near you.
We also provide specialist support for our churches, like our safeguarding team who give advice, support and training for all clergy, staff and volunteers who work in activities involving children and vulnerable adults. There are also people helping in a variety of other specialist areas of need like mission, evangelism, vocations, youth and children's work, as well as property advisors who work alongside schools and local authorities to make sure our children are in school buildings fit for their needs and look after the homes of our clergy. And we do a whole lot more besides. We engage with the bigger picture at a city, county-wide and even national level, where our diocesan bishop is a member of the House of Lords.
It's by having our ministers and advisors work alongside Christians in each community that we can make a difference right across our area.
But that's not all we do. There are our church schools. We support 131 schools and academies across the area where over 22,000 children and young people are getting an education with Christian values.
This is the big picture of what we do as a diocese. But I know what you're thinking. How do we pay for it?
Well, we raise over £13 million in funding. Nearly £8.5 million comes in from parishes through Common Fund, and this is largely raised from church members like you giving to the mission of the church. Nearly £2.4 million comes from investment and rental income, and then the rest is made up of £1.4 million from the Archbishop's Council, around £600,000 from reserves, and just over £150,000 from trusts.
This means the majority of our money comes from Christians giving to mission. Thank you. We don't get any direct funding from the government, though the National Church of England does pay for our bishops and the clergy in Exeter Cathedral.
So how is all this money spent? Well, most of it goes back to parishes. The cost of providing clergy in our mission communities and parishes actually takes up 74% of our budget, and that's nearly £10 million. Common Fund pays a large slice of that, but for well over £1 million, we rely on other sources of income.
And the income the diocese gets from these other sources also more than covers all its central services, so the money that comes from parishes can be spent back in our parishes. Generous giving by everyone means that others in our diocesan family can be supported in their ministry and mission. This is our common fund. And remember, all our resources are spent in pursuing the priorities that have been agreed by lay and clergy representatives from across the diocese.
So there it is, the big picture of what we do as a diocese. But remember, our diocese is about people, the people who live here, the people in our churches and schools, and the ministers who lead our churches.
And what is happening in our churches and schools is exciting. There are all sorts of projects going on which engage with the people of Devon in all sorts of innovative ways.
We want to help each other experience and be changed by the love of God and make that love known in our communities.
This is mission and ministry. This is being the church today. If you want more detail about anything we do, contact diocese@exeter.anglican.org.